Hey, this is Nato, fully automated, and in this video, I'm going to show you my entire lead generation system so you guys can implement this and then you can generate your own leads yourself. With this system, you can start generating unlimited leads depending on your budget. This is the exact same system that I used. I had a PNC agency that we grew. I sold it 2 years ago and we did have a 7-figure exit. We grew this exactly the way I'm going to show you here in this video. That way you can just copy my systems, or at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how we can build this for you. So a little bit of background. I just told you we had a PNC agency. So when we sold it 2 years ago, I started using AI and automation for my business. And then I started helping insurance companies do the same. Also, what I did was I became a publisher, meaning I sold thousands of leads to the lead vendors that you guys buy it from, and then they mark it up. That's how they make their money. They have to mark up those leads. They have to sell it to multiple agents. And that's why when you buy a lead, you're typically getting, 3 or 4 agents that already called them, or sometimes you're even getting a bad lead saying, I didn't even apply for insurance. I applied for a gift card. That's the main reason I started generating my own leads, because I got sick of that. So I'm going to take you through that whole process. If you guys have any questions, I would stick around to the end, because that is where I'm going to tell you guys or show you guys how we can implement this in your agency. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things that we do when we get a client to work with us, we try to figure out what their competitive advantage is. So I would be thinking about this if I were you. Most insurance agents just copy each other, right? They'll throw on just a static image ad that'll just say, save on your insurance, or bundle your policy and get 25%. Let me tell you, nobody on Facebook cares about insurance. You have to find a very unique angle in order for someone to click on your ad and fill out information for insurance. So one of the first things that we teach our clients is to try to find your competitive advantage. I'll give you some examples. I have a agent in Houston that's very competitive in coastal properties. So we find angles and try to locate those people that have coastal properties, because he knows if he gets those houses in the coast, he's able to give them a good price and beat out the competition. I have other agents that are very competitive if client's roof was replaced within 10 years. So then we run ads specifically for that. We also run, trucking, IULs, and annuities. You got to find the niche within the niche. And I'll give you an example with the life insurance. We have a lot of agents that work with that sell IULs and annuities, and they specifically target like doctors, lawyers, and things like that. So try to find your competitive niche, because the more that you separate yourself from the other agent, the better off you are. And then you can start implementing your full lead generation game plan. And paid ads is one of the best ways to do it. We also talk about how to get referral partnerships. Also, organic social media, anything organic, meaning anytime you post something that's for free and you're not using money to pay ads on. And then SEO content, how to get ranked, locally and on the maps, because in my area, I was ranked #1 for home insurance in the specific suburb of Houston, and that really helped out. And then database reactivation is how to get those people that you didn't sell to back into your pipeline in order to quote them again, right? So let's get started. We're mainly going to talk about paid ads and referral partnerships. Probably don't have time to go through all of this. So go ahead and get your coffee. I'm going to get my energy drink ready. And that way I'm going to show you my full system here. Okay. All right. All right. Let me make myself a little bit smaller here. 1 second. Okay. When you're running ads on Facebook, you have to run your ads off of a business page, right? So one of the first things that we do is we build out your business page however you want. Sometimes we use what we call incognito pages. And this is what the lead vendors do. They'll create a page like this and run ads off of that, and nobody knows who owns that business page. But then I have some clients that want to brand themselves. For example, like Smith Agency. So we will brand it from their business page. If you already have a business page that already has like content, followers, probably a good idea just to use your existing one. If not, we just build one out for you. Another thing I want to point out is a lot of you captive guys that are with Allstate, State Farm, and all the other captive agencies. a lot of times your business page is locked in with them. You cannot run ads off of that page. So you have to build out your own in order to start running ads. And I recommend it anyway to start branding yourself, because that was one of the things that I was able to do as far as when I sold my agency, how I was able to sell it for more multiples than your regular agency, because I had digital assets that I was connected to my agency that was producing leads that I sold. So you guys definitely want to start building your digital assets. And I'll give you an example. A digital asset will be your business page. A business page that's generating leads for you. Another one would be if your Google My Business has a ton of reviews and you're ranked, and that is giving you a certain amount of leads every day. Your website can be a digital asset. A blog, you want to start building those digital assets in order for you guys to increase the value of your agency. Not only just increase the value of your agency, but also if you ever leave the captive side, you already have those sites branded where the leads are already coming in. Okay. So that's one of the things we do is create a business page. And then that's when we start running ads on the business page. Now, what has been working really well for us is video ads. And the reason why is because when you throw a video ad, it's more high intent, is what we've seen with these leads. And the way we're able to test a lot of ads at the same time is we use AI in order to create these videos. And the process that I go through is this. I talked about the competitive advantage that you guys have in your area. Let's just say you have a competitive advantage with the roofs. If your roofs have been replaced within 8 or 10 years, then you would run an ad specifically for that. And then when we find an angle like that works, we will then run videos off of that, and then we'll test it with hundreds of agents. And then when that ad works, like for example, like this one works really well. When we find an angle that works, we will then switch this guy out with a guy with hair, a guy without glasses. We'll put the same guy in a house instead of a car. We will then put a female that's blonde, a female that's brunette, and we will test every single one of those against each other to see which one is converting the best. And this is what it looks like when we're testing these ads, right? You have all of the videos on the left-hand side, and then you can see where we're testing against each other to see which one's converting the best. Now, you're not going to see most of the losers that we already chopped off because we don't want to run losers too long. But as you can see, this video here is generating a $8 lead for home insurance. This one's a $9 lead for home insurance, and so on and so forth. But this guy's doing $6 per lead on the home insurance. She hasn't generated a lead after $40. So what we'll do is we'll test it maybe for another week or so. And if it doesn't convert, we will shut that off, and then we'll replace that ad with another one, because we are generating anywhere from 15 to 20 new videos every single month and testing that with hundreds of agents. So by doing that, we can test a lot to make sure we're maintaining a really good price per lead. And obviously, when you build this, you want these leads to be exclusive to you coming into your pipeline, which I'm going to show you here in a bit. And the results on those is this. Getting, in this particular campaign, spent $1,000, got 120 leads at $8 a piece. And I'll show you some more campaigns here in a minute. And on this campaign, spent another $1,000, got 88 leads at $12 a piece. And then this campaign is $2,000 and got 191 leads at $10 a piece. Now, you're probably wondering, why different campaigns? Well, I mentioned before where we run different campaigns depending on who we're targeting, because this is what's happening on Facebook. Before, you were able to target people based on, how much they made, their age, and things like that. You cannot do that. You can't do a lot of those things anymore on Facebook. So the way to target someone is by building these videos, and in the video calling out exactly who you're looking for, and in the ad copy. That's how Facebook then uses AI in order to go find who you're looking for. And that is why it's crucial that your creatives, meaning your videos and your ads on Facebook, are really good. Not only that, but also the better your creative, the better price per lead you're gonna get. So you have to be really creative on how you make these, which is time consuming because it takes us anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even 5 hours to create one video. And another unique thing that we do is when we find an angle that works, we will also hire an actor that will say the same exact script and then test it against all my AI videos. So that's one person in Texas getting those leads. Here's another one in California where he has a smaller budget. He spent about 700, got 59 leads at $13 a piece. We try to keep our leads under $15, but I have some clients that don't mind spending up to $30 a lead because they're converting. Okay. Let me just tell you another strategy that worked really well for our agency, and that was what we call the referral partnership system. And how that works is that we generate leads for our referral partners in exchange for their business. Let me break it down for you real quick. When I first started my agency, I had a loan officer that was sending me business, right? I wasn't doing anything for him. He just was, we had a good relationship, so he was sending me business. In the meantime, I was generating insurance leads for my agency that was working pretty well. And I thought about it. I was like, how can I thank this guy for, sending me business? So what I thought about was, what if I can generate him leads for his business? People looking for a house, which we call new home buyer leads, people looking for a house. And that way I can send him the lead. He can pre-qualify them and then close them and also get a referral to his referral partner, which is typically a real estate agent. So as you can see, that can become a flywheel. I generate the lead for my referral partner, my loan officer. He pre-qualifies them. He sends it to a real estate agent saying, hey, I have a person that's pre-qualified. Can you go show him a house? And then all of those people will send me back referrals. That was my strategy. That's how I was able to grow a lot of loan officers and also real estate agents to work with my agency. So as you can see, those are coming in at like $7 a piece, and you can distribute those to however many loan officers that you have. We also will generate trucking leads, and trucking leads do very well because typically we can get the same price for trucking that we can for home insurance. But as you know, with trucking guys, they sell a higher ticket item. Like my average trucking guy his average ticket price is anywhere from 2 to 5K. So as you can see, your return on those would be a lot higher. And it's the same thing for my IUL guys and annuity guys, because the price per lead isn't much more than home and auto, but the ticket price is a lot higher. So there's more trucking there also. Okay, now let me show you exactly what the lead sees when they're scrolling on Facebook, all the way down to how you would get the lead as an insurance agent, right? So we already showed you that we create a business page, we create ads in order for them to gather information. So this is what the lead sees. They're scrolling on Facebook, looking at whatever they look at on Facebook, sports or whatever, and then boom, they get hit with your ad, right, that you create. Obviously, that's the business page that I was telling you about. You run the ad, which is this actual ad that we're running. And then one of the tips that we do is we like to put the phone number here, because a lot of times when you're running the ad, they'll just call, if your ad is good, they'll just call you from the ad also. And you see how much engagement this is getting here also, which does help a lot. So they can call you right from here, or they can click on get a quote, and then that is how we gather the information like name, email, phone number, and the rest of the questions. Now, let me show you what we've been using in order to gather more information and help close the business, and that's utilizing the chatbot. Let me show you how that looks. Okay, hopefully you guys are still following along and you're following me. Once they click on that ad that I just showed you, we will gather the basic information from that lead. Name, email, phone number. This is a trucking ad, but it's the same thing for home insurance, for life insurance. We're going to ask them a specific question for example, here we're asking if they have a DOT, we're asking them for the company name, and then we're getting all the basic information. Now, a lot of times you guys need more information in order for the quote, and that is where the chatbot comes in. Because what we found out was we used to send them to a landing page, right? And if you don't know what a landing page is, maybe I'll show you here in a minute. Here, 1 second. So this is the landing page. This is kind of a landing page that we created here for home insurance, where a person puts in their address, clicks on this, and then we gather a little bit more information, right? And then we start asking them more questions. And then we ask them more and more questions as far as like date of birth, address of the house, a whole bunch of information. But we found out was that there was a drop off after a while. After we asked them, a series of 4 or 5 questions, they would drop off and we were never able to get the rest of the information. So what we implemented was the chatbot. And what we found out was the lead was more inclined to answer a lot more questions when it's a back and forth communication. So as you can see, the chatbot we'll send them a message on Facebook after they fill out their information, and then we're able to gather a lot more information from them through the chatbot. And I can show you hundreds and hundreds of leads where the chatbot's going back and forth, back and forth. It works really, really well. I even did it where I try to confuse the chatbot because it's really smart. And a lot of times leads will send their driver's license. I even did it where I showed them a picture of a cat when they asked me for my driver's license, and the chatbot was smart enough to know that it wasn't a driver's license, and it told me, that's not a driver's license, go ahead and send me your driver's license. So the chatbot's pretty smart, and it's very good to gather the rest of the information that you need for a quote. Now, let me show you how you guys would get all of this information in the system. That way you guys can keep it in one place where it's organized. So I'm going to show you the lead management system that we use. Okay, now that the lead went on Facebook, filled out their information, the chatbot is talking to them. That lead, right when they fill out the information, will go into your pipeline. We white labeled the software and we created it as our own. We spent over 5 years developing this, and also multiple 6 figures. And if you guys aren't familiar with this software, it's a very popular software that we use. But when you first get it, it's bare bones and you have to build it out however you like. And that's what we did. We built it out specifically for insurance in order to help us convert that lead as fast as possible. So the lead comes in here. Any conversation that lead has had with our agency, whether it's the chatbot, whether it's email versus his text, it comes in this system here. So that way your agents, all they have to do is come in here and check to see what the lead has, what information that lead has given you. As soon as you contact that lead as a salesperson, all of the automation stops and you take control of that lead. Let me show you a little bit on the automation on what's going on in the back end. Okay, this is some of the things that is going back in the background on the system that we built. Is when that lead first comes in, it gets tagged as whatever campaign we did. If we did an IUL, this would tag it as an IUL lead or a life insurance lead or an annuity lead, or if we're running home insurance ads, it'll tag it as home insurance, and so on and so forth. So when that lead comes in, it'll get assigned to one of your salespeople. If you're a one-man shop, it'll just go to you. But let's just say you have a team. You add your team in here. Let's just say you have 4 other salespeople. And then the lead, what happen is it'll round robin these leads to your salespeople one by one by one. This person will get one first, and so on and so forth. But let's just say you have a salesperson that's better than everybody else, or you're one of the salespeople and you want to get more leads than everybody else. So you just put 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, however more leads that you want than everybody else here. That way this person gets 3, the other people get 1, and so on and so forth. But the important thing is what happens after it gets assigned to a salesperson. What it'll do, it'll call that salesperson or a main line saying, hey, a Facebook lead just came in. Let me transfer you to the lead, and it'll transfer to the lead. That way we can get to that lead as fast as possible. And here's the reason why we do this. Here's the reason why we do any of the automation that we do, because I've been doing this for 10 years. And our data shows that if we can get to that lead, if we can contact that lead, where there's phone, text, chatbot, within 1 to 5 minutes, our conversion rate goes up 400 to 1,000%. So that's a 4 to 10x better chance that you have to convert that lead if you get with them within 1 to 5 minutes. That is the time limit that you need to use, regardless if you do this yourself. Even if you're buying leads, even though these are exclusive leads coming to you, That 1 to 5 minutes is crucial. And that is the main reason why I built this whole system, in order to get to that lead within 1 to 5 minutes. And if for whatever reason we don't contact that lead with phone, text, email, or the chatbot, we have a series of follow ups with emails and text messages to follow up with that lead. And this is fully customizable also on what you're saying in the text and the email. So we typically follow a 5 to 7 day sequence to follow up with that. Some of my clients have 10 to 14 days. I just think the sweet spot for us is anywhere from 5 to 7. But like I said, that's fully customizable also, and that's fully built out for our guys. And also simultaneously that your leads are getting notifications, your salespeople and yourself will get a notification every time a lead comes in. It'll email you as a salesperson and say, hey, you got a new lead, just in case you missed that phone call that it sent out. It also will text the salesperson or yourself with the lead information. That way, there is no reason why you should not be able to contact that lead as soon as possible. There's a ton more automation that goes into play. Every stage of our pipeline, there's automation that's going on automatically. I'll give you some examples on this. I won't go through all of them because we do have, over 30 to 40 automations that are taking place. But one of the most important ones that I think is when we sell a lead, that lead will get a Google review email and text saying, hey, can you leave us a Google review? And the reason why that's important is because you just made the sale. So they're probably the happiest at this time. So it's a good time to send it. And when I had my agents, at one point I had 12 to 15 salespeople. On our weekly meetings, I always used to say, ask for a referral and ask for a Google review. Guess how many times they would do it? Never. Maybe they would do it one time after the meeting and then they would forget. So I had to develop an automation in order to consistently get leads. And by the time I sold my agency, we had over 300 reviews, 5-star reviews. Another unique thing is if they leave you a 3-star or below review, it doesn't push it through Google. That way, you're not getting those bad reviews. What it's going to happen is going to reroute the system back to you, telling you, hey, this person is going to leave you a 3-star review. Can you go in and make it better? That way, it's only pushing the 4 or 5-star reviews through. We also ask for automated referrals. We have a very unique way to get that works really well to get referrals from our current clients. Another thing that I think makes the most money is this part right here. I don't care who you are, you're not going to sell probably more than 20 or 30% of your leads. Maybe on referrals, you might do 40%. On leads from your referral partners, those are high also. But a lot of the leads are not going to convert. So what you're going to want to do is set up this automation that we have in our system already. Is let's just say this guy, we don't sell. We move him to did not convert. And then what happens to these leads is they get nurtured for 6 months, a year. And then what they do is after they get nurtured, they get right back, they get put back into your pipeline 6 to 12 months later in order for your team to quote them again. Now, they are getting nurtured with educating them on insurance, educating them on you. That way you're top of mind 6 months later. That way your team or your agency is not only generating qualified leads at a very good price, like I showed you, but you're working those leads, but you're also working the leads that you didn't sell 6 months or 12 months ago back into your pipeline to give you and your team more at bats. So you can see how this can consistently start building up after you've been running, ads for 6 months to a year. Now you're getting a lot more people in your pipeline, and they'll get nurtured here until they either buy or they just unsubscribe from your follow-up. So I think that's a really good thing to implement, and that's only free money. It's just one automation that just works over and over again. Another strategy that we use is combining organic posts with our paid traffic. And this is what I mean. I showed you how when we run ads, we have to run it off a business page, right? But a lot of times they'll click on your business page and it's blank. So by posting on there, it does help with conversion. So I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like. We build out, when you first come in as one of our clients, we build out a 90-day content on your business page automatically. It just automatically posts without you having to do anything. Let me show you what this looks like on the actual client's page. One second. Okay, so a lot of times when you're running the ads, they will click on your business page, and if there's nothing here, you don't look legit. And what we found is if you have content on your page, it does help with conversion. So, like I said, we automatically post these for you without you having to do anything. That way, you don't have to get a whole social media manager to do this. This is automatically done in our system. And when someone goes on your page and they see that you have a lot of content on here, educating them on what particular insurance that you guys sell. I would also mix in your own personal videos if you have any on here. And then our system, what it does automatically is it'll post your 5-star reviews on here automatically without you having to do it. That way, when the lead comes, they see that you're educating them, but you also have 5-star reviews on Google. So it looks like you're more legitimate. And this is all about just separating yourself from other insurance agents. Also, all of our clients get their own dashboard where they can see how much money they've spent, how many leads they've gotten, the average price per lead that he's gotten, also internal notes in here. We also have where you can look at any campaign. We're very transparent on the ads that we run because we want to make sure that you know the exact ads that we're running, how much you're getting per price per lead, and things like that. For example, you can click on one of your campaigns and see exactly what ads we're running for you. If you just click on one of these campaigns here, you can see all of the ads where we're running on here. And also, we have a feature here where we can analyze the ads in order to make these better. And we use AI in order to do this. And you can see this is an 8 out of 10 ad, and it tells us what's good and what's bad. Every one of my clients gets one of these. We set up this software. We built this software ourselves, and it's also useful for us because we can see what all our clients are running as far as price per lead. And if their price per lead increases, we can very easily go into their ad account and make whatever changes we need to make on there. So this is also how we track all our clients. And then we also put all of our clients into a school group. If you're not familiar with school, this is Hermosi's and Sam Ovens platform. I really like it. I moved from Facebook groups into this. And what this is going to be is all our clients that are doing the same thing, running ads, building their agency, and we're building more like a mastermind. These are like-minded insurance agents. I have guys in my group that have 20 to 30 million dollar agencies, some spending up to $50,000 a month. Now, you don't need 50,000 to start, obviously, but we do recommend a budget of anywhere from $800 to $1,000 on to advertise on Facebook in order to get started, because we've tested every budget. And if your budget's too low, what's going to happen is it's for Facebook is more like an auction. So you're bidding against people that are running the same ads. So if your budget is too small, Facebook doesn't even take you into consideration, and your price per lead is going to be really high. So this is a place where we hang out. We submit wins, like he just submitted a 5K IUL. And also this is where I create the ad creatives, the videos, where we show this to all our clients. And if they want to put it in their ad account, we can put it in their ad account, because we are generating anywhere from 10 to 15 new videos. We also have a classroom where we talk about different things. One of the ones is like referral partnerships, how to go out and get referral partners to work with you. Because remember, we have a competitive advantage where we generate leads for our referral partners. We also have a Facebook ads group if you ever want to learn this yourself. But yeah, this is pretty much my entire system. And like I said, it all starts with trying to find your competitive advantage. Don't be like every other insurance agent running the same thing, because you're going to get the same results. So, just ending this, I urge you, regardless, to try something like this. Your goal should be to generate your own leads and stop depending on lead vendors. I did it myself. I bought leads out of necessity, and I learned how to generate my own. And you can do the same thing. It took me 3 to 4 years I've been doing this for 10 years, but it probably took me about 3 to 4 years, a couple 6 figures for my own money in order to figure this out. Or, if you guys want me to set this up for you, we can. But like I said, you can just follow the exact same steps that I did. And one of the advantages that we do have is that since we work with hundreds of insurance agents, I'm able to test ads fast with a lot of ads and get data back to see what's working and what's not. But if you guys have any questions on my setup, just let me know. Or if you're interested in for us to set this up for your agency where you can start getting unlimited leads, click on the link and we can have a conversation to see if we're going to be a good fit for each other. Okay? I will talk to you soon.